All right, we now have a quorum, and so we'll call our meeting to order. Today we're going to consider the each of you, we do have a quorum. Each of you have the materials we're going to talk about today at our hearing. Pursuant to the Congressional Budget Act and House rules, this committee is required to submit to the Budget Committee a letter with its views and estimates relating to the concurrent resolution on the budget with respect to all matters within its jurisdiction. Each of you has a copy of that letter, and it's there in front of you. So let me read into the record what would have been Chairman Lucas's statement, but Chairman Lucas is thankfully, I say thankfully, stuck in a snowdrift someplace in Oklahoma, and those of us in the drought countries were envious of the fact that he's getting moisture, and so he'll be with us when he gets out of there. So we on the Ag Committee have been through an awful lot together over the past 3 years. My good friend ranking member, when he was still the chairman, kicked off a series of hearings to write the 2012 Farm Bill way back in 2010. Then, when so many new faces showed up in 2011, we thought it best to continue those hearings both in and out of Washington so new congressmen could learn about the vital importance of what we do on this committee. After the debt ceiling discussion in July and August of 2011, leadership of this committee and their counterparts in the Senate worked together to try to take the ideas gleaned from our 2 years hearing process and turn it into a farm bill that would fulfill the important purposes that the farm bill served while saving Uncle Sam, or actually saving the taxpayers, about $24 billion. Of course, we all know how that ended. The Ag Committee succeeded. The larger process failed. So, like the farmer who loses his crop, we got right back in the field the next spring, and that's what we did with the committee. In 2012, we went to work and developed a good farm bill that would have saved the taxpayers more than $35 billion had it been enacted into law. I remember the committee markup of that farm bill, partly because it lasted from mid-morning one day till small hours the next morning, but mostly because I could not have been more proud to serve as a member of this committee. I witnessed all of my colleagues on both sides of the aisle, led by the great chairman and ranking member, shepherd that bill through this committee in a thoughtful, deliberative, and bipartisan way. I remember thinking then, and I firmly believe now, that all of Washington would be better off if it ran the way we ran the Ag Committee. Unfortunately, the Farm Bill did not make it across the line last year, but importantly, we didn't leave rural America hanging. By extending the 2008 Farm Bill that was crafted by Representative Peterson at the helm, we provided one more year of certainty. That brings us to this year, and as the Budget Views and Estimates letter says, we're going to write and pass a new 5-year Farm Bill. We owe it to the taxpayers to put together an effective Farm Bill that saves money, that does better, and is cheaper. And whether it concerns the farm safety net, conservation, nutrition, research, or rural infrastructure, we owe this country the certainty of a 5-year Farm Bill. To fail in such a vital mission is to send the message that rural America and the other important facets of life a Farm Bill touches don't matter. That's simply not the case. Rural America does matter, and so does the Farm Bill. I want to close on one point before I turn the microphone over to my friend, the ranking member. The Washington Post recently took a run at the Ram truck ad that quoted Paul Harvey's tribute to the American farmer and rancher. According to the Post, those farmers and ranchers don't exist anymore. The Post and others of their opinion are out telling the public that farmers and ranchers don't have unique weather and market risks anymore either. Contrary to that belief, we've got some of those farmers on this committee today, so those farmers do exist. As a congressman who represents a bunch of those farmers and ranchers who have faced wildly fluctuating crop prices, successive years of severe drought, the liquidation of herds because of no feed, and even the shuttering of packing plants, I find that the Washington Post run offensive. So let's get this Farm Bill done for the sake of the farmers and ranchers out there who carry on the torch of their dads and granddads that we saw in the Ram truck ad. They're still out there doing what they do, feeding and clothing this country and much of the world. And I am grateful for each and every one of them. I'd now like to recognize Ranking Member Colin Peterson for any comments that he would like to make.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and morning, everybody. As the Budget Views and Estimates letter indicates, the Ag Committee is committed to being part of the solution to our country's financial crises. And we have repeatedly demonstrated a willingness to work together and find real budget savings. And we're the only congressional committee that seems to take this task seriously. You know, if you recall back, the those of you that were around, the Budget Control Act. We were the only committee that was able to do the work and actually produce a bill and the savings, actually more savings than we would have experienced under the sequester. And, you know, at that time, the other committees couldn't even agree on sending a letter. Every other committee, the Democrats sent one letter, the Republicans sent another letter, and then they did nothing, and the whole budget thing fell apart. And then now we're faced with the sequester. But at the same time, you know, that our programs have been become a frequent target for those outside the committee who frankly don't understand agriculture, don't understand the programs under our jurisdiction, and don't understand the need for a safety net in agriculture, which frankly benefits consumers and bankers more than it does farmers. The Ag Committee can best contribute to deficit reduction as part of the Farm Bill process, and I hope that the rest of our colleagues will let us leave us alone, let the Ag Committee do their work, and we'll get it done. Last Congress, the committee, as I said, passed a bipartisan bill. We achieved significant savings, and we kept the safety net for our farmers and ranchers. This new Congress will be an opportunity, particularly for the new members of the committee, to again make improvements and necessary changes to the current Farm Bill programs. As it was last year, the budget situation is going to be a huge challenge, and that's why Chairman Lucas and I agree that Congress needs to address these budgetary issues before we can really begin work on the Farm Bill process. The first budgetary issue we face is the sequester, and neither side of the political spectrum in either House or Senate have proposed a balanced or serious plan to replace the sequester with regard to programs under this committee's jurisdiction. One cuts only nutrition programs, while the other one cuts only direct payments. And we all know that neither one of those are the right balance. With leaders from both parties continuing to play politics and to avoid tough decision, it's no wonder that Congress is viewed at historic lows. So, Chairman, I look forward to working with you and the Chairman and other members of the committee to make sure we get our work done and get this Farm Bill finished. We started this process when I was Chairman. It's been 3.5 years now since we started, and I'm sick and tired of it, and I want to get it over with. So hopefully we can make that happen.
I think they build nuclear aircraft carriers quicker.
Pardon?
They build nuclear aircraft carriers quicker. Well, maybe not. All right. Thank you, Ranking Member Peterson, for your comments. Do you have a motion to offer to the committee?
I do, Mr. Chairman. I move that the committee approve the letter regarding its views and estimates so that it may be forwarded to the Budget Committee.
All right. This is a debatable motion. Is there any comments or anyone wants to make? Everyone has a copy of the letter in your folder. This is relatively straightforward stuff, and it's similar to last year's letter. But any comments from anyone? Hearing none, then we're ready to vote. All those in favor of the forwarding the budget views and comments letter to the Budget Committee, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Ayes have it. All right. With that, does any member wish to file a supplemental, minority, or additional views to the letter that would be submitted to the Budget Committee? Does anybody want to submit their own letter? If so, then please submit them to the Council's office, room 1304, by noon on March the 1st, 2013. All right. Everybody all right? With that, then, this business meeting is now adjourned. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Members can't.